sustainability plan, $90 million statewide over the next few years, with $30 million of that coming this year. That money will go quickly. Applications are probably going to be done through the consolidated funding application process that the state has implemented. And obviously, any projects selected need to be supportive of the sustainability plan. As far as the timeline goes, ANCO will be releasing the final version of the sustainability plan later this month. Also, later this month, we expect to receive guidance from NYSERDA as to what the Phase 2 funding process will be, and maybe see some program announcements. And then the CFA application process, not really sure when that will actually open up, but as Keith mentioned, we expect that'll probably be early summer. So, where can you get some more information about this if you're interested? Here are your resources. Kim Deschamps with the SciTech, Jen Perry at ANCA. You can certainly find the majority of the information about this on the ANCA website at adirondack.org. Also, we will be posting Kate's full presentation. I did cut it down rather dramatically on our website as well, so you can see us and we can connect you with that. So that's what's happening with the sustainability plan.
Well done, Kate.
Thank you. I don't know if I realize I'm not Kate, but try my best. So next up, we have Dan Mason coming. One of the outgrowths of the Symposium energy team, which has been a very active group of the Symposium, is a clean energy conference. It was very successful in the first year. We got another one coming up, and so the chairperson of the planning committee for that is Dan Mason, and I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you. I was here, I don't know, a year and a half ago, so I'm going to take you back a little bit in time and tell you how it got connected. But this is what we're about. We are about owning our energy future. So the simple elevator speech is real technology, real credits, real jobs being created. And so this education that we're talking about here, which button? Well, good. Okay. All right. So we want to have a framework to how to describe this. Now, I have like an hour-long presentation to discuss the energy issue that's really local, and I try to collapse it down to one slide, and it's sort of an impossibility because there's lots of other questions behind here. Because the energy issue is your electric bill, your heating bill, your gasoline bill, repeat. Energy is your heating, your electric, and your gasoline bill. So what is it for the North Country? The North Country, if you're looking at heating costs, you're looking at $2,000 to $6,000 a year if you have fuel oil. Your gasoline bill is about the same. So that gets back to some of the comments made previously when you look at sort of what's causing impact on your economics, local economics. If you go ahead and look at one particular warehouse I know of, they spend $10,000 in 1 month for heat. It's in Plattsburgh. So that's a starting point. If you have that warehouse, you're sort of in a going out of business strategy at $10,000 a month. Your residential cars and trucks, you're similar ranges, those sorts of things. And I would also, and I've had this conversation before, that conservation is looked upon a key reducer for energy costs. And I would say that there's enough data out there now to say it's a component to reducing, but is not going to shift the needle fully. If you're all familiar with International Paper, they have their own project and they went and did an energy reduction because they had a $10 million a year fuel oil bill. They had a 5-year program. They reduced their energy cost, their energy consumption. Important difference, energy consumption 25%. They felt really proud about it. They went back and looked at their numbers, and their energy bill, their cost, had gone to $40 million. So that's the unit cost of what you pay per gallon, per whatever you want to look at, per cord of wood that you buy. And so they said, ooh, we have to have a different choice. So their model is we have to go look for a different fuel source. Not just, now conservation helped, but it just didn't take them all the way. So what's happening here? What's happening in the North Country? You see a list here. They got local and individual strategies. You've got homeowners installing wood heat. I'm sure people you know here in this room are doing that. You've got wood chip boilers looking at 75% reduction in energy costs. You probably have heard about that. Solar PV being installed with 7 to 10 year payouts. You've got natural gas where available. What about what is being worked on? Well, there's people looking at town-wide heating systems. Think of these as mini Con Eds using wood chips. It's happened in other places around the world. It could happen here. It's real technology. You've got expanding wood chip boilers to large buildings, not just schools. You've got community-based virtual net metering. That's another good half an hour to hour discussion, but suffice it to say that I expect to see legislation, I've been working in Albany with that, coming out mid this week, would be for comment. But what's the common themes? The common theme is changing the energy source will reduce your energy costs. The pace of change is slow, but why? So here's your history lesson. Back in, was it August of 2011, the person known as Kate Fish, sitting right over there, asked me if I would head up the clean energy effort for the North Country Regional Economic Development Council. And that was right before Hurricane Irene, and I said, oh, sure, why not? I can do that. And 3 weeks later, we had a report. You see the report there. And I came to the symposium in October and presented the report. Report had a number, looked at a broad range. Again, you look at what I just talked about initially, electric, gasoline, and heating. Broad range of ideas and options and what's been happening. And one of the key themes in there was education. It was not about the technology. It was not about the real credits. It was not about real jobs. In fact, we did an assessment. We figured we could reduce unemployment by 1.5% if we did everything they said we could do. It's an incredible number. If you want to go from 7% unemployment to 1.5% in the 7-county North Country Regional Economic Development Area. So I was in the back here with, there's a few people in here I was with, saying we have to find a way to educate. And we had this meeting in the hallway, probably too loud because people were still talking here, and we decided to have a conference. So we had some meetings. We officially got started January 23rd of 2012, and we had our first conference in June, 6 months later. Lots of people said it couldn't be done because of the team. We did it. I stand up here representing them. They did a lot of work. We had over 250 people attend. We had to shut it down because we ran out of food. We had business people there. We had about roughly 1/3 business, so people that are selling clean energy technology, 1/3 buying clean energy technology, so it could be a school, it could be an independent homeowner, and we had about 1/3 researchers, the right mix. I had people coming up telling me, said I gave away all my business cards. This was a great conference. You made all these business contacts. How come you didn't have an exhibitor showcase? How come you didn't let me show my wares here? So we did all we could do in 6 months. So with that feedback, we decided to have another one. And I should say that there was, besides the team, we had a really good support from the North Country Symposium. I really have to thank you. It's an incredible level of support and commitment this year again, and I really appreciate it. And certainly for people that attend, if you look at the costs, recognize you're not paying the full load. It's people like the North Country Symposium that are going ahead and offsetting the costs, allowing the broader attendance, and that's really incredible support. So what are we about? Well, I'm going to change the definition of North Country on you now. You've got the North Country Regional Economic Development Council, which is 7 counties. Well, we're North Country, we're 14 counties, where basically we look upon the anchor region as what our area is. When I get calls, I basically tell people we're north of I-90 to the Canadian border, and then east to Vermont. That's the area we look at. We've got 11,000 square miles, and we wanted to provide a forum to have this broad discussion about energy opportunities, and really provide a forum to educate the average person about what their opportunities are. Now, when I've gone around and given a story about energy to various groups, I've had the experience where about half the people get up and walk out. And I should tell you right now, I probably sound like I'm a green person, very clean energy focused. My background is 34 years in the oil industry. So when I talk to them about costs and things, I know some things about what's driving these things. And I have this really good distillation that talks about this, because I should set you up to say that you're really worried, because there's no way, if you stay where you are, your costs are going to go down. You have enough history in your own life to know that anyway, but there's no way you're going to go down. So when half of them get up and walk away, I thought about, so what really is driving this? And then I realized that for the average person in the North Country, and the average person in the rural America probably, maybe the average person in New York City, they've bought and sold 16 cars in their life. They know all about radio, XM radio, they know about four-wheel drive, they know about synthetic fuel oil, which tires, which with studs in the winter, what they all have. They know all about that. In their lifetime, they've probably replaced their heating system in their house twice. When they go in, they talk to the car, they have questions that they ask that are technical questions about that particular automobile. Do you have a variable vortex engine, or do you have this or that? When the heating system breaks down, they call up the person that fixes it and says, hey, can you put it in? Can you put a new one in? It's broken. No questions get asked. So you know that there's an education breakdown, because they're going to spend a chunk of money that they're going to be responsible for a fuel source coming in that's going to have a commitment to them, but they just want to get the heating system. There's the education. So when we talk to people here, be it wind, biomass, solar, heating systems, we really are trying to go ahead and get that vehicle, that there are people that can help them make these choices. And if they come away with anything, my son made a decision, this is a segue, my son made a decision that he had to go ahead and put new Freon in his condo in Washington, D.C. And he said, you know, my system's really old and it's really sort of grandfathered in, and I really need to be thinking about replacing it. I said, did you ask what other options you had? No. Same thing. Didn't think about it. Maybe he could have gone to a heat pump or something else. Didn't think about it. So here's what we're doing. This year, we decided not to have a keynote address. Every conference has a keynote address. We had a great one last year. Since we're about education, we're going to have 5 clean energy success stories that are our keynotes. We're going to have 2 businesses, we're going to have 2 towns, and we're going to have 1 school. And they're going to come and talk to us, and they know that they have real projects they've put in. They've got real credits that they're going to tell you how much money they've saved. They're going to tell you how long it took. And so they've come across the Rubicon, if you will, and they know how to do it. And I suspect many people in this room already know about how to do this. But we're trying to get to others that help them do that. We've got workshops here, seminars. You see a list of them here. Last year we had a special topic on biodigesters. Well, dairy is like the number 4 industry. Dairy farming is like the number 4 dairy farming industries in New York State, so it's a big, large industry in New York. Well, that's a big opportunity for biodigesters. They could be doing, with everything that they produce and they have to dispose of, they could be going ahead and generating electricity. And we have business roundtables. We're going to have one on municipalities where the towns can talk to towns. Those people that haven't done it or thinking about it can talk to those people that are doing it. We have schools. We're going to have the CNG Energy Report, which is quite a long discussion. You can go several, at least over an hour on that. And we're going to have a discussion on community-based virtual net metering, which has a broad impact, which hopefully the legislation will be farther along by then. And lastly, we're going to have an exhibitor showcase. We've got about 20 exhibitors coming. We have a biomass, one person I was just talking to today, several solar. We think there's a wind person coming. There's a broad range of industries that are going to come and share their wares. So if you come there, you'll be able not only to hear them speak or meet them in the hallway, you'll be able to walk there and to see their particular wares, as well as the last day of the conference, we're going to have it open to the general public. So that is what I wanted to share with you. But I would say, and if you haven't considered clean energy, you know, you've got an ex-oil guy talking to you about real jobs, real credits, real technology that you can do today. That ought to at least get you curious. Thank you.
So, I don't know about you, but I'm convinced I think I'm gonna go to that conference this June. It's June 5th through 7th at the Lake Placid Conference Center. You have to register. Do that by going to a website we've already mentioned, www.adirondack.org. Or you could just grab Dan by the jacket here and say, hey, I want to go to this conference. So definitely plan on attending. It was a fabulous event last year, and it's going to be even bigger and better this year. So next up, we will have Steve Knight come up and share with us what's happening with the North Country Regional Food Hub. Steve. Steve has a number of hats. He's chief operating. Are you CEO of the United Helpers?
Yes.
And also of involved with Sparks, and he's going to tell you all about it.
Just for switching.
Yeah. We just. Okay, darn it. Steve, you can start talking while I fix this.
Morning, everybody. I don't know about you folks, but I'm pretty confident that I do not need a standardized assessment to tell me that I'm in need of improvement. I have lots of people that tell me that on a regular basis. I have it on a pen drive too, if you need it. You want it?
Flash player will need it. Sorry about this, folks.
You want to grab it? Or just go online? Ah, I just saw it. No, that's me. What's that? Thank you, Ben. Okay, put this down below? Sure. Hello again.